Hi, everybody. This is Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. It is Wednesday, March 26th, 2025, and we have a number of weather events that are going to be causing some local issues here coming in the Pacific Northwest, also along the Texas coast, and we also have some wildfires. I'll show you those burning on the South Carolina, North Carolina border, close to Asheville. Those poor folks that were impacted by Hurricane Helene. A lot of dead wood in those mountains right now, and that's acting as wildfire fuel. Let's get to it. I want to make this kind of quick. You can see the GOES satellite image. This is from NOAA. I've done another thing. I usually do this during the hurricane season, but I did it as well today because we're going to watch this progressively get warmer and warmer. I'm talking about the sea surface temperatures in the Gulf and also along the Caribbean and in the Atlantic Ocean. Already, water temperatures are 3 to 4 degrees above average where they should be today. And that's going to mean something a little bit later when we're talking about tropical system development. But let me point some things out for you here. You can see what's going on in the mid-Atlantic, toying with some clouds on up into Pennsylvania with some showers into New England as well. That's a little weather disturbance and some lake effect, also precipitation. Most of it rain coming off into the northeast here, but we are seeing a couple of weather systems develop. First, look, you can see the Gulf Stream here coming off of Florida. Look at that. The GOES satellite can detect temperatures with its infrared sensors. And this is what it can see as far as the ocean temperatures are concerned. Look, warm water comes out of the Caribbean into the Gulf. This is called the loop current because then it curves and goes around through the Florida Straits in just off of Miami and between the Bahamas. And this is the Gulf Stream that goes up off of the Outer Banks of North Carolina, then curves off into the Atlantic. And it's very cold, very cold waters right now off the east coast of the United States and even in the Gulf Coast as well. Yeah, I know it's spring break. Water temperatures aren't that great until you get down to about, Tampa and further south where it's decent, I guess. But you see this batch of clouds in southern Texas. We have a serious rain situation unfolding there starting right now through Friday into Saturday, where we could see localized flooding anywhere from 8 to 10 inches of rain. I'm going to dive into that a little bit closer here in just a few moments. But then we also have a lot of clear skies in the Midwest. As a matter of fact, it's quite warm. Warm temperatures going all the way up into Nebraska. Remember we talked last time I did an update, we were talking about blizzard warnings in Nebraska and Iowa. They're almost 70 degrees right now. They're going to be 83 degrees by Sunday, and then 83 degrees by Friday, and then by Saturday night, it's going to be snowing there in parts of Nebraska. So really rock and roll weather pattern going on. And I want to take this full screen and take you over also. Look at that. Look at that beautiful disc there. Oh, there's a part of the Sunset Terminator line coming. This update's a little bit earlier, 3:42 in the afternoon here on the East Coast, 12:42 Pacific time. But you can see also a swirl on the western horizon. Look at that. Well, fortunately, we have a GOES West satellite. This is GOES East. I'm going to show you the GOES West satellite here. And look at that. I've switched over to this NOAA satellite, and we're watching a pretty major storm here in the west. Look at that spinning. Doesn't look like it's moving very fast, does it? It's kind of spinning in one place, but look at this outer band here. It is eventually going to impact the West Coast. It's already impacting the West Coast with low moisture, and that's resulting in low clouds, maybe some drizzle, some fog, and things like that in the morning. This indicates these clouds, these stratocumulus, that's what they're called. These clouds indicate cold air coming in around this low pressure system. And that's more of a stable environment, no real convection happening there. But this area of precipitation is going to be headed into Northern California and Oregon and also Washington. There is currently precipitation heading through Washington state right now. You can see it right here. That's touching off some local heavy showers. That's moving up towards Seattle and Mount Olympus and on up into Vancouver in British Columbia. But there's going to be a little bit of a respite with some dry temperatures. Very warm though. This is a very large circulation, and up ahead of this front, warm air is being pumped up. So it's going to be quite warm in Oregon and Washington. Now, that's going to do a couple of things. It's going to melt snow at higher levels. So we're going to have increased runoff into the rivers. So we'll have a buildup of rivers down at the base of the mountains. That warm temperature is going to continue for a couple of days. Then, as this front moves in, we're going to have some perhaps severe thunderstorms starting tonight into tomorrow. Yes, including you in Portland, Oregon, all the way down to about Bend, Oregon, and on up into Washington state. So be very prepared. If you have a NOAA weather radio, make sure you keep it on overnight. If you don't have a NOAA weather radio, first, you should get one. Second, keep your phones off of silent mode. Make sure they are set to receive local advisories and warnings from the National Weather Service, Portland Weather Service Forecast Office. They're gearing up for this next 24-hour period here, and they'll be sending out warnings, and that may set off your phones, whether it's flood warnings or severe thunderstorm warnings, and give you the alert that you need to get away from windows and get to a place of safety. But this system is going to be a news producer here because we're going to have quite a bit of heavy rain, excessive rain in the Pacific Northwest. Let me dive in a little bit closer here. I turned on the 1 minute high resolution sector for the GOES West satellite. Now we're seeing an image every minute here. And look at this. Here's that. Remember, I mentioned that band of showers moving through the Seattle area and on up into Mount Olympus here, Puget Sound, and then on up into Vancouver. That is this line that's moving up here. Let me refresh that too. I can get the latest info coming in here with a touch of a button, and you can see these are high, thin clouds, so not producing any rain there. But whoa, look at this. Here's Astoria in Oregon, a tremendously rough inlet there. Coast Guard trains, they are superheroes, that's for sure. Here's Portland in Oregon, sunny skies right now, very warm temperatures, and look at the snowpack in the Cascades here. You can see the snow in the mountains, but just offshore, here is that heavy rain and thunderstorms that are going to be coming in during the night tonight. Look, I can go all the way down. Look at these cool clouds. Boy, these are high, thin, cirrus clouds, but look at that. These are like gravity waves. That shows instability, and so do these bumps in the clouds here. A lot of instability that's going to be moving onshore, and you can see here in California, the clouds, those low clouds are starting to make it in. Look at that. If you're outside on the California coastline north of San Francisco, you'll see these clouds here, these streaks in the sky. They're not contrails. They're really gravity waves. Look at them propagating out from all of this. What's happening is this convection, thunderstorms, really strong updrafts, disturbing the atmosphere here and making the wave patterns that you see moving off of those clouds. So lots of convection here going on. And I can move a little bit further down. Look at these wave clouds right over here moving across. That's like Southern California here. Well, let's see. No, here's San Francisco and San Francisco Bay. So it's north of San Francisco. This is Northern California. That is where you could see an atmospheric river coming in and also producing local flooding. Boy, this is really just tremendous satellite imagery from the NOAA GOES West satellite. That's what's going on. Okay, since we're out here on the West Coast, I want to show you what it looks like from the standpoint of the model forecast and the atmospheric river forecast. Okay, so we're going to go over to this here. This is, you've seen me show this in the past. This is an indication of where an atmospheric rivers could develop. And this is what we're looking at here. You see where this dot is about central Oregon coastline? We can look now to this chart. This line in the middle means today. This is today. Back here is going yesterday, day before. So this is 7 days in the past. You can see some minor atmospheric rivers have moved through this point over the last 7 days. But look what's about to come ashore. An AR2. That's green. That's kind of a nuisance atmospheric river, but it could cause localized flooding, and it will definitely help to fill some of the reservoirs because we have warm air being pumped up at high levels. That's melting snowpack. It's running into the reservoirs. So those folks who are responsible for water management at the dams and reservoirs have to monitor this very closely and seeing how much rain is forecast to come in at any particular point. Now, if I go in here and go up, move up, you see up towards Portland and Oregon, or just in northern Oregon here, look at this. This is a yellow. This is an AR3, atmospheric river level 3, expected to come in tonight, last to tomorrow night, and then into Friday. So this storm is going to be producing some impactful rain headed in. And once again, it is a wide system. Look at that. See how large in circulation is? And I'll show you here. I'll just, why not? Why don't I just try to draw here a little bit and I'll show you. The warm air is just being pumped up into Oregon here and into California. And that is helping to melt some of this snowpack. Okay, but this circulation, the center of this low pressure isn't expected to come ashore really fast, but this area of precipitation in front of it is going to cause a chance for severe weather. And we'll be watching that too. But most importantly, since these updates aren't 24/7, 365, you need to pay attention to your local weather forecast office and your local broadcast meteorologist there in the Portland area and the Seattle area, Northern California, down towards Southern Oregon as well. So that's what's going on with this atmospheric river forecast. And again, if I move to the north here, let's say into Vancouver, it doesn't look like it's going to be as high of an impact. We're talking about an AR1, atmospheric river 1, for the next 24 hours. But look, I'm going to go down towards San Francisco here. I'm going to take these dots, this is called point forecast down into close to the San Francisco area. Look at this, but here's what's more important. This is not expected to happen, this green, which is an AR2, until about 6 days from now. You can see it on the graph. Again, this is today. This is today. So we have tomorrow. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We could have another atmospheric river impact the San Francisco area. Okay, so this storm is going to be offshore and it's going to be impacting mainly to the north. See that as this moves closer? Look how close the atmospheric river is on up here into Oregon and on into Washington as well. So pay close attention to that. And so the next thing I want to talk about is the next thing that I want to talk about is the potential flooding down in Texas. Okay, I'm going to take a full screen. I'm going to take GeoCollaborate. You're looking at a couple of things at once here. I'll turn some layers off, but I want to show you a couple things. Look at this. This is the warm air that's forecast over the next 3 days throughout the Midwest and on into the East. It's going to be in the mid to upper 70s in the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area. That's going to be on Saturday. But look at this again. This is where that heavy snow fell in Iowa and Nebraska, temperatures in the 70s and low 80s. Boy, 83 degrees on Friday. It's really going to warm up. Okay, now what you're seeing here is a forecast for extreme precipitation. And I'll back you out here just a little bit just so you can see what's going on here. Extreme precipitation. So that's here in the Pacific Northwest, down the Cascades here, and then along the coast to Northern California and a little bit inland through some of the mountain valleys. There's also a chance of extreme precipitation in Missouri, Iowa, also Illinois and Indiana, parts of northern Kentucky over the next 3 days, and then along the Gulf Coast. And this is where I want to dive in here to talk about this extreme precipitation chance. There is a good chance of seeing anywhere from 8 to 10, perhaps even 12 inches of rain here in the Rio Grande Valley and off into southeast Texas and southern Louisiana. It's already raining there. I have the radar data turned on. You can kind of see it through those colors. But I can take you a little bit closer as well to the local radar, National Weather Service radar, down in southern Texas. So this is the Weather Service's Doppler radar data, and this is what we're seeing. Look, these are heavy showers. There's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect here from Corpus Christi on into just south. This is Galveston is to the northeast, but here's Ostwell and Fulton, Rockport. You're in a severe thunderstorm warning right now as this line moves through. These are very intense rain producers. And look at how much of it there is. This is going to continue in this pattern for the next couple of days. That's why there are flood watches going on in southern Texas. And that's why we have this area highlighted by the Weather Prediction Center in College Park, Maryland, part of the National Weather Service, highlighted here for very heavy rain. Could cause localized flooding. Actually widespread flooding, certainly in this area. And this is what I want to show you. So that's heavy rainfall for this week. And take a look at this. The impacts are roadways and small stream flash flooding. This is in southern Texas. And look at these rainfall amounts that are possible. All the way from 10 to 15 inches near Rockport, Corpus Christi, 8 to 10 inches, 10 to 15 inches in Alice, Texas, even out to the west of that as well. And so you could have isolated severe thunderstorms. Those thunderstorms could produce, not likely, but could produce rapid spin-up tornadoes as well. Doesn't look like we have the situation for a lot of those, but we always have to watch out for that. And also what we call training of thunderstorms. Okay, training of thunderstorms. Here's an example, and I'll show you with this data here. Training of thunderstorms basically means that when you have rain that's falling over the same spot over an extended period of time, you could have training. Now notice, I'll turn this off here. Notice these thunderstorms and showers are moving to the north. Okay, that's not really training for this line, but look at this area. Clear that. Let me get a little bit of different color here. I'll make this white, make my marker white. Okay, so watch this area like right in here. Okay, they're getting heavy rain right now, and look what's moving towards them. This whole area of rain is moving up into that spot. So this is called training of showers and thunderstorms, excessive rain falling over the same spot over multiple areas. Look at this area right in here. These thunderstorms are moving over the same spot, which would cause local flash flooding and flash flood warnings. That's what we have to watch out for. And that is why we have in this graphic, training thunderstorms will lead to localized heavier amounts of rain and flooding as well. So if you live in Southeast Texas, South Texas, Louisiana, South Louisiana, that is, even Houston as well, pay very close attention to these heavy rainfall patterns, and you may just as well get a flood warning, a flash flood warning. So think about where you would go if there's a flash flood warning issued. If you live in a low-lying area and you need to get out when it rains a lot, 10 to 15 inches will do it. Make sure you've planned ahead for where you're going to go, to higher ground, maybe to a friend or a relative's house. And for the All Hazards Consortium, which this briefing is intended for, we will have impacts to critical infrastructure, some road infrastructure, low-lying roads, low bridges, because of this heavy rainfall potential. Okay, what about the forecast models? Let's go over those really quickly because we have a couple of weather systems that are going to be impacting the U.S. And you can see here, this is today, earlier today, initialized. This is Wednesday, March 25th. So this is 18Z. So this is this afternoon. So that's 2 o'clock this afternoon. And I'll put this into motion because I want you to watch down in Texas. Southern Texas, look how persistent the heavy rain is. And already we're into Friday morning. And it's still raining, and some areas raining heavily. Look at that, southern Louisiana, southeast Texas. So starting today, Wednesday, we saw it raining already, and that's going to be persistent all the way through till Saturday morning. But let me back up here too, because I want to bring your attention to some showers that'll be moving through the Great Lakes. But we do have some cold air that's going to turn this rain into snow along the extreme northern border of the U.S., UP and Michigan, perhaps some sleet and snow happening during the day on Saturday, Friday night into Saturday. And then certainly look what happens here, where temperatures are going to be in the low 80s on Friday. This is Saturday night into Sunday with snow once again through parts of Minnesota and into South Dakota. Nebraska has rain right here, but then that is going to extend and get colder for some potential snow. But this storm system is going to bring quite a bit of rain as well into the Ohio Valley, stretching down into parts of the Mississippi Valley and off the East Coast. So this is valid on Monday morning. And then we have another system that's going to be coming into the Pacific Northwest. And that is going to create, again, another atmospheric river situation. This is the one I was talking about being 6 days away for San Francisco. And there it is, right there. You can see it. Bunch of heavy rain, not much snow, high elevation rain as well, which means a lot of melting. And so we're going to keep our eyes on this one for next week because this could be a real flood producer as this system comes ashore. Let me show you about the cold air, where it is and where it's heading real quick. This is the 850 millibar, which means about 5,000 to 7,000 feet up in the air. So we can track air masses and temperatures with this. And you can see it's kind of cool right now over the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. That's going to be moving out during the day on Thursday. And you can see that moving out. And so by Thursday afternoon, things will start to warm up. But look at the upper Midwest. Wow, it's going to be very warm. I told you on Friday, temperatures in the low 80s in Nebraska. And that's what you see. That's what it looks like at 5,000 feet. But look, it is starting to extend over into the mid-Atlantic where those warm temperatures are going to come on Friday into Saturday. And that is going to dominate from Oklahoma to southern New York to Florida, warm temperatures. But then as that other system develops, look at it driving cold air. It's pulling cold air down out of our friends to the north in Canada. It's going to be coming down here, perhaps setting the stage for some severe weather. That's next weekend, way far away, too far away to talk about any specifics, but we'll be watching it. And then that warm air continues along the East Coast until Monday. And then a front comes through, cools off, could be quite chilly for a brief period of time. But then look at this. Look at this extended warm up from California all the way to southern Canada, over into the Mississippi Valley. Look at this area of warm air. We're going to be watching this one very closely too, because we could be talking very hot for this time of year. Temperatures all the way from Canada down to Texas, and we're talking here in early April. So this is April 3rd, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But look how that extends eastward. That's a long way away. You know what I call that? Fantasy land in the models. But this is a little bit concerning with how much dry air and warm temperatures there'll be in areas that are really being stricken by drought right now. A lot of drought is going on, particularly in the Mid-Atlantic, Western North Carolina. I'll show you that during the day tomorrow on GeoCollaborate. Thanks a lot for watching this update. I'm Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. We'll be back tomorrow with another update as this flooding and severe weather gets underway tonight and tomorrow in the Pacific Northwest. This update's been for the All Hazards Consortium, the sensitive information sharing environment where we share information across platforms to keep private sector organizations, communications, transportation, utility, logistics, food, fuel, medical supplies on the same page with private sector liaisons within the state emergency operations. And so thanks for watching this update. Please watch out for yourself and also watch out for your neighbors. They really do appreciate it. Thanks for watching.